Picture a medieval town. The marketplace is buzzing. The smell of fresh bread fills the air. And in the stalls you can find goods from faraway lands, exotic spices, fine silks, and barrels of wine. Trade was the beating heart of the Middle Ages. But how did people become merchants? What was the most profitable to sell? And what dangers did they face? Let's dive in. In the Middle Ages, you couldn't just set up a stall and start selling. Many cities had merchant guilds, powerful organizations that controlled trade. They set the rules, protected their members, and made sure outsiders couldn't compete too easily. To join a guild, you needed money for a membership fee and a solid reputation. Merchants were often children of wealthy peasants or craftsmen who saved up enough money. Artisans who switched from making goods to reselling them, or young apprentices traveling with experienced traders, learning the craft before opening their own business. Guilds provided status and protection. They negotiated with city rulers, hired guards for caravans, and even organized huge trade fairs like the famous Champagne fairs in France, where merchants from all over Europe gathered to buy and sell. What could make a medieval merchant rich? The answer was simple: rare and exotic goods. Spices like pepper, cinnamon, cloves, and nutmeg. These came from Asia and were worth more than gold. They were used not only for flavor but also as medicine and even as a form of currency. Silk and luxury fabrics. Fine cloth from China or velvet from Italy was a status symbol for the wealthy. Salt, known as white gold, it was essential for preserving food. Metals and weapons. In an age of constant wars, swords, armor, and horse gear were always in demand. Sugar. In the 13th century, sugar was such a luxury that only the richest could afford it. And of course, everyday goods like bread, wine, beer, wool, and pottery were traded locally. These common products kept towns alive and markets thriving. But being a merchant wasn't easy. The risks were huge. Taxes and tolls. Every city, bridge, or border charged fees for goods passing through. Bandits. Roads were dangerous, and caravans were prime targets. Merchants often traveled in groups for safety. Wars and plagues. Conflicts could shut down trade routes overnight. And the Black Death in the 14th century nearly collapsed European trade for years. Fraud. Some traders sold fake goods, for example, sheep berries instead of expensive pepper. Guilds often punished this kind of cheating harshly. Being a merchant in the Middle Ages meant living with constant risk, but also incredible opportunity. One successful journey could make you wealthy for life, while one disaster could leave you ruined. Merchants fueled the growth of medieval cities, spread new ideas and cultures, and laid the foundations for the great age of exploration. So next time you see pepper, salt, or silk, remember, in the Middle Ages, these everyday items could be worth a fortune and could change someone's destiny forever.